What is going on? It's your girl CPositivista. Welcome back to the Mind Your Thoughts podcast. And today I've got the amazing Tiahnna on the line. What is going on, Tiahnna? How you doing?
Hey girl, you alright?
Yeah.
Too much is going on right now, to be honest, just making myself something to eat.
Yeah, living that quarantine life.
Oh, trust me, literally everything's been shut down. I want to go to a restaurant right now, but I can't even go.
Bruh, like Nando's shut down, McDonald's shut down, everything's shut down at the moment, isn't it? Everything is shut down. Obviously, like, how's your quarantine experience being right now?
I say quarantine for me has been a struggle, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'm a person, I like to keep quite productive, I like to keep quite busy. I suffer with depression as well, so having a routine and things is really, really important to me. So I was going to college, I was going to the gym, and now all of that stuff's kind of been closed down. It's been really hard for me to kind of gauge my days and work out what I'm doing day to day because I'm out of my normal routine. So yeah, that's kind of how quarantine kind of had me literally locked in the house, feeling a bit down at times. Sometimes I do feel a little bit suicidal because I feel like I've literally hit a brick wall. But I'm just literally trying to power through every day, stay positive, and literally just push myself and tell myself that this is not the end, that it will eventually all kind of get lifted and it's not going to stay like this for longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of been me during my quarantine, to be honest.
Yeah, I've basically found your page on Instagram where I've been seeing you just really talking the real and really just speaking from your perspective, and I saw your videos and I thought, you know what, I need to get Tiahnna on the podcast. Where is she? I need to get her here. So give us a little intro to like how your videos started, how you started to like film, and what basically motivated that.
Well, like I explained, I suffer with depression. That is one of my main things for my mental health. I do have other mental illnesses like anxiety, psychosis, and stuff like that. And I recently got admitted to a psychiatric ward because I was extremely unwell with my health. So I decided that everybody's doing a vlog on makeup, everyone's doing a vlog on music, cars. Why don't I do something which I know that a lot of people are going through and a lot of people can relate to? So let me start speaking about certain subjects which seemed a bit taboo like 10, 15 years ago. Like mental health wasn't widely spoken about like it is now. Like literally you see posters for mental health everywhere. I didn't see that when I was like 5 years old before.
Trust me, what happens at home stays at home. You don't talk about it.
Literally, once you go out that door, you don't tell no one what happens in this house. That is the rule. Yeah,
it's one of those things that even if you're someone who self-harms, you best hide those scars. Like, if your teachers find out when you get home, I'm gonna beat you. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is real. Like, this is real, it's happening. And the fact that you can't talk about it can be a little bit suffocating, no?
Yeah, it's quite overwhelming because you're trapped within yourself. You feel like you've got no one to talk to. You can't speak to anyone, and because I don't know why it seemed so kind of, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but it's like kind of looked down on that. If you're in a bad position and you try and reach out for support, that you're kind of weak and you haven't got the strength. But certain people do see it from the perspective, that when you do ask for support, that is a sign of strength. But I think that's only through other people learning, other people talking, more understanding in the world. That no, it doesn't mean that if you have a mental breakdown or emotional breakdown, that means that you're weak. Not at all. So it's just basically to kind of change the whole narrative. I think the way that the media portrayed mental health and portrayed mental illness wasn't very helpful. How they portrayed kind of like psychiatric health. They kind of show it that everyone's in straitjackets. I can tell you from now, being on a psychiatric ward, they don't have straitjackets there. It's basically like
they make it seem like a scary place, boy.
you don't go through the experiences that they portray on the media, and I think the media isn't really helpful when people are going through these things, and it kind of makes you kind of not be able to talk about it. I think as well with all this social distancing, it's just pushed people into a place where they're kind of closed off a bit more, they're not so open.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of factors involved in it, really, to be fair.
Wow. And is this something that you want to take further? Like, is this, obviously right now you're doing like your videos and stuff, but is this something that you want to take further in terms of speaking in schools or speaking to young people, or just people in general outside of your videos?
Well, to be fair, I've just literally set up the platform so that people, if they need a little boost of motivation, if they need a boost of positivity, they can literally come across my page. It's not that hard to literally just open up an Instagram page, do a one follow, do a one like. So I wasn't really doing it to set up myself to get out to be speaking in front of 10,000 people and motivating. But if that's the road that I end up going down through this process, then that's the road that I will go down, because these things need to be spoken about more, and they need to be made more. Awareness needs to be out there about these things, and people, how they cope, coping mechanisms and coping methods that actually help people.
Yeah.
Coming from people that actually experience it, instead of people that study the subject and then think that they can come up with solutions.
Mad.
Sometimes the solutions that people have studied about someone who's going through it aren't helpful. And I found that linking in with people that actually do suffer from mental health and do suffer from depression or do suffer from anxiety, and hearing certain things that suggestions that they've made to me, has been amazing, because half of the stuff that you get from therapy may not actually work for you as an individual, but it seems that therapy is always the route for...
Fam, my therapist used to piss me off, I'm not gonna lie to you. But it got to a point where I had to understand that, she's doing her job.
Yeah.
But I had to boost myself up to go, because of how therapy had been presented to me in the past, just like you mentioned.
Yeah, like I was saying, the media, the way they portray it, it's kind of like one of them, you go in the room and you say, oh, I've got this problem, and the psychiatrist will say to you, so how do you feel about that? And you'll be like, I feel upset. And then they'll be like, how do you feel about that? I feel upset. So how do you feel about that?
How does that make you feel? I just said.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's definitely how it's come across in the media, how I felt about it. I didn't feel that counselling was effective for me. I literally just felt that I was repeating myself over and over again. I still felt some of the skills that they gave me weren't very helpful as well. And as I said, it's literally been meeting other people that are going through what I'm going through that has helped me to understand my illness and helped me to learn how to deal and cope with my illness better.
When you first started to notice the symptoms and noticing yourself actually going through mental health, did you know a lot about mental health or not?
To be honest, it wasn't really spoken about. I just felt literally what the peak for me was, I was waking up every single day, I didn't want to be here anymore. I could literally feel in my body, I felt cold, I felt numb, physical symptoms, my emotional pain was manifesting physically, and it got to a point where I was like, no, I really need to go to the hospital about this. I'm going through certain feelings and certain things, and it's not good for me. So even when you go and present yourself at the hospital, they basically turn around and tell you that you're not depressed and you don't have any issues and stuff like that. It takes a lot for you to get put onto the mental health kind of chart or grade for them to decide that actually, do you know what, you're in a state of you actually need help now.
It's almost like you have to persuade them and let them know that no, something is actually happening.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not getting the help.
They don't do anything at all. They will literally just leave you there in A&E or on the wards, literally in the bed, and observe you until they actually see you get to a point where you're going to actually harm yourself, or you're going to do something to yourself which is going to be very detrimental. And I feel that mental health shouldn't be approached like that.
Yeah.
I feel that there should be a early intervention scheme that sees that when someone does do that initial high, in need of support here, there should be a big ring and a
Yes.
big support for that person instead of them having to basically explain their whole life story, go through every single traumatic life experience that they've been through, for them to still be turned around and told, sorry, there's nothing that we can do for you. It's like you go through all of that. You shouldn't have to bring up every single experience every time you speak to a new face. It shouldn't be that.
Because it brings back old memories and it just opens up old scars.
Yeah,
It's just not necessary.
Every time I found that I spoke about a traumatic experience in my life, every time I speak about it, I feel like I relive it.
Oh my gosh.
And it's not nice. And I've heard other people say that as well. That's how they feel.
Yeah.
That when they talk about their previous experiences, they feel that they are reliving it again, and then they find they have to repeat themselves again, and it's not a nice thing they're talking about either, and they have to say it to another person, and it literally just goes on to another wild tangent, and they don't ever seem to get the support that they actually need.
Do you feel like being in care played a big part on your mental health?
To be honest, when I look back through my care experience, I think care is where I experienced the most traumatic experiences that I have ever been through in my life. I mean, I've been through domestic abuse, I've been through the care system, I've been raped, I've been through a lot of things that have contributed to me having mental issues now. But personally, being a 14-year-old girl going into the care system, going into foster care, having that dynamic, not really being told what's going on, just having a social worker overseeing your case, basically looking over the computer, looking at you, making phone calls here, there, oh yeah, you've got a placement, you're going here now with your bin bags, and it's like, huh?
Making big decisions about your life, and you're just sitting there.
Decisions about your life, not involving you, basically dictating everything for you, and you don't even know this person as a personal person to be making big life decisions for you.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of left in a space where you're left to it, and you have to get on in that placement, and if you don't get on with your foster carer, the foster carer can turn around and say, do you know what, I don't want you, and that's not a nice experience as a young child to be told that basically there's issues with your parents, so you can't stay there. We're going to put you somewhere else, but no, there's issues here, so we're going to move you again, and you constantly get moved around. You don't feel like you've got that element of love, affection, none of that. You don't get that when you're in the care system. I mean, some foster carers they don't come across that way. They do see their foster children as their own children, and I commend those foster carers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's the type of foster carer I had. In fact, I only had one foster carer, and we're still like proper close till now.
See, you're lucky. I had 15 different placements when I was in care, and I've known other people that have moved around. I've known people that have moved around 30 times, 40 times. Even going through residential care. I was in a residential unit that was quite difficult.
Is that like a children's home?
Yeah, children's home. But
yeah.
Obviously, proper term is
residential unit. Wow.
But
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so in the residential units, basically they were deemed for children that were really bad behaviour. It wasn't a secure unit, but it was basically treated as one. Like, you have to ask the staff to open doors for you.
Stop it! Like a lockdown.
Yeah, proper lockdown. If you weren't back, and another reason why I say it was so traumatic is because if you weren't back at the residential unit by 10 o'clock, you get locked out. They'd lock the doors.
Wow.
So you wouldn't be able to get in. They'd call the police, report you missing, and the police would literally be hunting you down all night.
Like you're some kind of criminal.
And the thing was, if you can't find somewhere warm, like if you don't have a friend or some place to stay, it was hard. We were sleeping in blocks. We were finding small alleyways to kind of hoist ourselves in. We were breaking into cars to literally stay somewhere warm. We were sleeping underneath cars. it wasn't the right thing for 14, 15, even younger to be living like that. But that was the dynamic that we were in.
Yeah, that was the real.
To face. Literally, and I don't think that side of care is ever really spoken about in depth. I mean, people talk about foster care, and I had a foster carer, but the actual ins and outs of living in a residential unit and how that affects young people growing up, it doesn't set you up for the skills to be independent. It doesn't set you up to be prepared, because I'm a mother as well. I have a 10-year-old daughter. But I was pregnant whilst I was in care, and I was never shown the skills to become a mother, and unfortunately, social services ended up taking my daughter away from me.
Oh my God, sorry to hear that.
No, it's no worries. She lives with my mum now, luckily.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a better kind of setup. I mean, the relationship between myself and my mum has completely deteriorated, but I'm fully appreciative of the fact that she's taken another 18 years of her life to set my daughter up for a good future.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do still have constant contact with my child, and I will never ever stop having contact with my daughter. And social services will not stop me from having contact with my daughter, even though I haven't seen her for 3 months because of all this lockdown stuff. Which kind of
goes to like my next question, yeah. So obviously going through this whole like lockdown, like pandemic kind of issue now, does this bring you back to that place when you were younger and not allowed to do anything and not allowed to go anywhere?
Listen, I feel highly restricted now that I'm on lockdown.
Fam.
I would be out doing so many different things for myself right now, but I'm not even in a position where anything's open to do anything for myself. I feel so trapped.
Yeah.
And it was like being in that kind of catch-22, paradox of living in the care system and literally feeling trapped between a rock and a hard place. You're literally stuck between the social worker and placement, and that is it until you turn 18, you become independent, you get your flat, or you may get a semi-independent hospital at the age of 60. It all depended on the route for your pathway plan.
Yeah. On one of your videos, you were talking about food bank. You was talking about not being ashamed to use a food bank, and I thought that, I was like, no, that's amazing, because even people like myself, I sometimes feel ashamed if I need it to even ask. So how do you go on about that?
That's the thing for a lot of people, to be fair. I think a lot of people feel, and again, it's kind of like the whole mental health thing, the way that stuff is portrayed, it seems like, accepting things from charity isn't the right way to go about things. Like, we were all kind of brought up with this kind of view of that's not the right way to live life.
Yeah.
But I think we need to understand that is, not say that is the way to live life, but that is the way that majority of people that are going through issues are currently living life.
Yeah.
And we need to,
sometimes that's all they have.
Yeah, literally, as a community, we need to realise that these resources are widely used by so many different people. They're used by families, single people, couples, and it's all about our well-being. It's not about looking at the fact that, you don't have, so we must judge you because you don't have that. No. That's not the right way to go about things and the right way to support people, because people in general will always get to a point that you're low, that you need support. And it needs to be more widely put out there that it is okay for you to ask for help. It is okay to be in that situation. It is okay to go to the food bank and request for food if you do need it.
Yeah.
You know, because I have no shame in it. I've used the food banks. I think I've been to the food bank probably about 8 times within the year. Like,
okay.
From April to April.
Is there a limit? Is there a limited time?
The thing is, with the food banks, they will limit the amount of times that you can use it within the month. So I think you get up to 3 vouchers a month.
Okay. How much are the vouchers, like, roughly?
Sorry?
How much is the voucher, roughly?
So it's not a voucher amount. So what they'll basically do do is what's printed on the voucher. Literally, I've got one here because it doesn't give you. You don't like go to Iceland or Asda and go and redeem it because they used to give love to shop vouchers as sustenance.
Yeah.
They don't do that process anymore. So what the food bank voucher will say will basically outline your name, your address. It will ask how many adults are in your household. You'll write in the boxes. It will have like different age brackets. You'll write in that box how many adults in your household. Then they'll ask you a main cause of crisis, and then they'll ask you a secondary cause of crisis. These can be because of low income, homelessness, debt, benefit delays, domestic abuse, sickness and illness and work, health, delayed wages. So there's different reasons as to why you may need access to that support.
Okay.
So what the process used to be before this whole lockdown started, you go to the local food bank, which would usually be in a church or a community hall, and you would pass them the voucher, and then they'll basically read through a list of items to ask you if you have them. So like milk, kind of
the essentials,
milk, cereal, like basic essentials, but they won't give you fresh goods. So you get a lot of tin goods and kind of like cereals, long life milk, and stuff which will kind of last you for a couple of days.
Yeah.
As I stated, you can only use the food bank 3 times a month. And there was a time in my life that it was summertime last year. I was on universal credit, and because I had to repay some things, I was only on £150 for the month, and I still had to pay for my gas, my electric, my Wi-Fi, phone contact, all of that stuff, and food. So I found that was a real big struggle for me to only be able to use the food bank 3 times a month when that was my only source for food.
Wow. Yeah. Ooh, things can get real, man. Life can get real, for real.
Literally, life can get on top, and I don't think, like, not to say a lot of people don't realise, because I think people are realising that life is getting on top. But I think a lot of people are burying their head in the sand.
People like to pretend. People like to pretend that, everything's fine. We're going. No, there's a lot of like dirt under the carpet that people have swept for years and years and years. And because of it, things are starting to come out now. And people are thinking, oh, well, you know, and it's like, no. We didn't talk about these things before. And that hence why we're living in a generation that a lot of us are needing to heal. So these things need to be spoken about so that our children don't have to go through such things that we're going through.
No, it's so true.
So, you know, if we got to talk about food bank, then we got to talk about food bank. Boy, it has to be said. Like, shopping at a charity shop is completely fine.
Listen, I go to charity shop. To be honest, I prefer second-hand goods to anything new because
more times it's vintage anyway.
It's so flimsy.
In it.
I prefer anything from second-hand goods shop, and it's cheaper.
It's cheaper and it's vintage. Trust me, you buy it, you wash it, you give it a good ironing, then you're good to go.
No, I'm even saying like even electrical goods. My laptop, my PlayStation, my TV have all come from cash converters.
I need to come shopping with you. You know, you sound like you get good deals.
And another thing as well, why cash converters has been good to me, they do good kind of like pawning deals. So if you run out of money, go and take one of your electrical goods down to cash converter, and go and rack in some change. You've got about a month to pay back, so you can get your items back, you can buy them back.
Wow.
So life skills that I'll put out there is to literally get an account with cash converters.
I'm gonna write that one down.
Yeah, if you want electrical goods for cash converters, if you need money, take your electrical goods to cash converters and buy them back.
Wow,
that's literally been one of my survival techniques that I had to do. I had an Armani watch. I used to get phone value for about £60.
Wow.
Which would literally I'd spend on food shopping, and then when I got my money at the end of the month, I'd buy my watch back.
Hustler.
I had to survive for a long time, and I was working at that time. I wasn't even on benefits, so it kind of shows the dynamic that not it's not everyone that's on benefit that is in this position. You can be working and still need to use the food bank.
Yeah.
Because I was at work, I had messed up wages, and I had to use the food bank. I didn't have a choice. There was no way for me to have got any type of money. Everything had got messed up for me, and that was my only source of food.
Yeah.
So literally, I just want to say to people like, there's no shame in it. Literally, like, if you the first time I think I went to the food bank, I cried my eyes out. I felt so embarrassed. I felt that I wasn't worth anything because I literally hit rock bottom and I was going somewhere and I felt like I was getting food. But when they came in, they were so welcoming. I saw a young woman with her son there. I saw another gentleman, an elderly gentleman there. And it just made me think to myself that we're just real people.
We are.
There's no reason for me to feel any type of shame. There's no reason for me to feel any type of way because I'm in an element of support and I'm asking for help and I'm actually receiving help. Why should I feel ashamed for that?
When there's people who don't get help.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Don't get help and they're suffering.
Mm-hmm.
But why do I feel a state of suffer because I'm actually getting the help that I need?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to flip the whole perspective on it and be like, do you know what? I'm getting help. There's no reason for me to feel shamed about this. The only time I should feel embarrassed is if I don't have any help.
That's true. That's true. Wow. So even with the lockdown, has the universal credit been consistent in terms of like helping you with finance and that?
I think literally as it's become April and we're going to a new financial year, I think the standard allowance, I don't know if it's for everybody, but I think mine has been raised. So
Jeez, money in the bank.
so not by much, just a couple pennies, but
hey, every little boy, every little counts, every little helps. 110%.
Most definitely. But mine, I've literally had to sort out a lot of problems with my universal credit. I understand people go through that 6 weeks waiting period. Universal credit system is really hard. I've found as well, as much as I was struggling on job seekers allowance, which was only £57 a week, it was easier with the fortnightly payments. Now with monthly payments, I find that I'm actually struggling to budget my money.
Yeah.
To make me last for the month because I'll say I'll put a total £60 for food shopping for the month, but then I'm realising £60 worth of fresh goods and stuff like that isn't actually going to last me because I went to go and spend £60 in Sainsbury's and ended up spending £116.
What?
On the items that I needed. So,
bruh,
everything kind of in play and all of this lockdown stuff and everything got up in price now.
Can you imagine? Let's just touch this for a second, yeah? How is it that we're going through a pandemic, yeah, and the food and everything is going up? Isn't it supposed to go down? A lot of people are not working, you know? It's just
another way of social cleansing and literally trying to put people into social classes.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
100%. The rich will continue to get richer. We already know that. But that's just the realest. That's just the realest. But to be honest, Tiahnna, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want to give them all the juices simply because I know I definitely want you back. Like, you know, when social distancing and all of that is done, I want them to see you on my YouTube channel. If you will do me the honors of showing,
I'll see you there, don't worry.
Yeah, so we're definitely gonna touch up more on like finance and you know, little tips from Tiahnna here and there. She's giving you lot the juices, you know, so you lot just need to hit up her page on Instagram. I'm gonna put every single one of her details down as well, so don't forget to like and subscribe onto our YouTube channel, which I will also put all the details down. Thank you lot for listening, and yeah guys, you know, just keep it locked but keep it safe at the same time. Just